Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Mianyu. Hope I'm pronouncing that right or close. By CZT, Belén, Vilchez, Roman. And I hope I pronounced that right as well. Okay, I love this kind of tangle. This is so neat. All right, starts off with you know what? I think there is a word for this, but it's like a squared zigzag. just follow along. Okay. So straight line, nicely all straight lines, right? And you can have fun with how far apart you want them. There we go. Okay, so whatever that might be called, that's what we want to do. So, because it kind of looks like a zigzag or like a zipper teeth type of thing. But anyway, this is how we start, and then I'm deciding which way do I want to aura. I did notice. Okay, I'm going to do. Well, because as you'll notice on my step out, because I wasn't quite paying attention to it, and I'll tell you, when you do your own step outs, and let me share the reason that we do them, because it's like there's just a thing where it's like you of course don't want to pass off anyone's art as if it's their own, as if it's my own. I would never do that, and so it just seems like it was a lesson we learned in when we went to training. Do your own step outs type of thing. It's just it's like that's what we do. But I also like to share the step outs from the originator of the tangle in any work, and I'm happy to put those links on, and I do that. It's in the description section, so you'll see my step out, so my version of it, and then the originator. I usually call that for more inspiration, because that's what it's there for. But anyway, so as I one of those where I didn't want to have to start over on the step outs, but I noticed, and at the same time it doesn't matter, that you might want to consider which way we're going to do an aura of this. And let's see if I'm going to do the aura underneath, because here's what happens, and I'll show you. So I'm going to do the aura underneath. And so of course you decide how thick you want that aura to be, and then continue. We're basically tracing. So if you don't know what aura-ing means, Zentangle terminology, that's what it means. And so just trying to keep that same distance. There we are. So what happens is, depending on which side you aura, so these are going to be smaller than the ones up here, because this is where we're auraing it. So aura-ing it, it's hard to say too. So the ones on the bottom are going to be smaller. Now, of course, it just occurred to me, well, and because of the next step, it's like, oh, but you could just flip the tile, and then you'd have, if I had done it the wrong way, on my paper, because it's not a flippable tile type of thing. So anyway, it does matter, and it's just something that you have to consider. So the next step, and this will become clearer as I go along. So we're going to do curved lines. So from these peaks here, I'm going to do a curved line from one to the other. And this one quite doesn't finish, so that's going to end up being like that. And this one too. Okay. And then we're going to you flip the tile if you want to or not. Oh, that's a little uneven, but that's okay. There we go. Same thing on both sides, just so you know. Okay. And then, and while I have it on this side, I might as well just finish it. Then we're going to do a second round of curved lines, but from the inside. So looking at this section. So same thing, just a nice little curved line from corner to corner. And you can see what's happening already, right? Flip, same thing. Corner to corner. And so, as like one of those where, as I'm blathering through trying to explain this, I should have just waited. So here's what I was getting at. So, and this is, I love these kind of tangles because they look so neat. So what you would want to decide is, do you want these wider ones on top or on the bottom? If you're doing this as a border, it's just something to think about. I would, if you want the thicker ones on top or the wider ones on top, then you would make sure to do the aura-ing underneath, so that way these little ones are underneath. It's up to you, but I just want to highlight that so that way you're aware. And just, like I said, it's something to think about. Okay, so then it's playtime. And if you take a look at the For More Inspiration section, you will see that Belén has put some other ideas for how to decorate this. One way I want to hit first is shading, of course, because nope, you can do different things on that, because I'm looking at his samples right now, and yeah, and there's some different ideas. So do take a look. But we'll just do something, just, I don't want to say basic, but yes. I'm just going to put graphite on. Excuse me. Dry in here. Sorry about that. Okay. So graphite, where, like if this looks like a ribbon to you, where it goes down in underneath that frame, well, that's what I'm going to call it. And a little bit less, I'm trying to put a little bit less on the smaller ones, because we want to, when we shade, make sure that we are leaving some original tile color. And then too, you don't have to bring it out so much. You can just maybe do a little circle, something just to bring the graphite in. And then you can always play with it from there. And oh, did I even put some on that one? I'll have to see. I think it's just coming off of what I have on the tortillon, and I was like, all of a sudden I get quiet. It's like, oh, because I'm just enamored by that. That is just so cool. Just so cool. And then looking back, and you probably could play with maybe some of the angles, because looking at the looking back at Belén's page, that the link that I have, some of them look like I'm trying to find the right word, apologize, almost like they're twisted, and maybe it's just the shading. So some of them look like they're weaving in and out this way. Some look like they're coming out of a different direction. So I'm gonna have to it's one of those where I have to look at it for a while and it's like, huh, what makes that do that? And then and figure it out. But do take a look, because it's just really, really neat. Now you could as well, let's see, of course you could have fun by darkening that in, or I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? Oh, maybe just this let's just see, do this and see what it looks like. So filling in this, because it would be, if it was, say, a ribbon or a whatever going in and out of this frame, this part would be shaded, or would be darker. So we'll just fill that in. But yeah, these ones always just floor me. I love them. And mostly because, I will call myself a Zentangle artist, but couldn't draw before Zentangle. We'll just say that. And I still can't draw. I can do Zentangle. I can't draw. And so things like this, it's just so fun to do because it's so neat to have for me. I just like I'm floored because it's like this came off of my hand. Wow, I did that. That is cool. And I didn't create it, but but to be able to replicate it and then have fun with it in different different tangles and things like that. It just so neat. So gosh, that's really cool. And then if you need to, you can have a little extra dimension by going a little bit darker in the these crevices. And it's if you struggle with shading, like, well, you just don't know where, how do you just find a starting point. This is always a great starting point, is like where something you can tell that something is tucking underneath something else, and that's where you want to put the graphite. And then just start small, or small or light, so like not bringing it out very far, and not going dark. Because like you said, a lot of times you find me on these videos, it's like, well, I'm just going to start with a little bit, and then as you can see, I'll change my mind and add more. And yeah, and I like the wider on top for whatever reason, but maybe that's some of it too, the angle you're looking at it. It's just super neat. So wonderful tangle. If you enjoyed it, would love to have a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. And if you like it enough to see more, or like me enough to see more, I guess that would be more of it, because I do a different tangle every day. Would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. And again, in the description section, there are links to the step outs. Below that, ways to connect with me if you so desire. I do free classes every week. I do have some that are paid. So I do a free class at least once a week. Sometimes two. It just depends on the week. And then I have a couple others that, like I said, that are paid. But information is on my website, or pop me an email. Like again, you can connect with me via that, or put something in the comments below. And that's it. So thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.